Hi, I'm here again making another video, and today I was gonna talk about something I've gone through a lot. Not a lot, something I've gone through, and that is weed addiction and just smoking it too much. It's something I'm going through. I always think I'm smoking too much, but right now I think I am a bit too much. Um, yeah. And I think if you're really struggling with weed addiction, I have some advice. And I can share a bit of my experience so maybe you don't feel as alone. Um yeah, so I started smoking weed when I was like 16. Just on the weekends with friends and stuff, but it only really got bad when I started doing it alone, and that was at the beginning of 2023. I just moved back from a big city to a small town where I'm from, and I was living there with a friend working at an old place I worked at, and one of the employees there, he let me rip his dab pen, and then he gave me his old pen, gave me a cart, and just really kickstarted that a whole journey of a lot of learning, a lot of self-discovery, and a lot of weed smoked. A lot. A fucking lot. Um, yeah, so that really kicked it off. And for like a good 10 months, I was smoking almost consistently daily for most of the day. A lot of days where I'd go to work high. No one knew, except for a couple coworkers, but like I would show up to, I would understand the point of high that I would need to be where I could go to work and be fine. And it was a really big issue. I was, I think, a little too smart with it in a bad way. And so yeah, it spiraled to a lot of things. I think it was the main cause of depression. It was like I had all these reasons to be depressed. It really threw that in my face. My dad passed away when I was younger. I was in a really shitty relationship. Sorry, that just, like, my dad passed away. I don't think I'd really dealt with it as much as I should have at that point. I was in a really bad relationship. And I was just really feeling garbage about myself. So a lot of this advice is gonna go along with stuff I've talked about before, like learning to love yourself. Like, that is such a huge thing, and that is such a huge part of how I improved. But I think a big thing that you really need to remember if you are wanting to quit weed is to stop being so harsh on yourself. I'm not asking you to, go on this whole self-love journey, but please stop being so hard on yourself. If that voice in your head is always telling you to shut the fuck up, it's always aggressive, it's always mean, it's harmful, then you need to try to start recognizing that and just kind of like it might even be a good idea, because I've done this, to just actually re-say what you just said in your head. Re-say it with positivity and kindness towards yourself. Just be like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to be mean like that. Treat yourself like a best friend. Treat yourself like a friend you care about deeply and dearly and you never want to see hurt. You're understanding to that friend, but you're still gonna hold them accountable, just not in a way where you're making them feel like absolute garbage. That is a huge part, I think, in getting over the smoking weed. And a big thing too is, this is a hard one, but a lot of the time when you are smoking weed a lot, or any addiction, anytime you're addicted to something that kind of numbs you or changes how you think, it's usually because there's something you don't want to think about when you're sober. And I think a huge part of addiction is not just cutting out the addiction permanently, it's addressing what is causing it and understanding that and processing it, because it's probably something you haven't processed in your life. For me, I think a huge part of it was my dad's death. That was something that really, really hurt and was something I had to grieve over a lot. And then I think another thing was the fact that I was in this relationship I didn't want to be in for like a while. Like, I tried ending things way before we actually ended, and I was told my feelings were wrong by the girlfriend, a few of her family, and like, I don't know. I was kind of manipulated in ways. I don't like saying that. I don't know why. Maybe I'm dumb for that. Maybe that's my ego, whatever. I was manipulated, though, a lot into staying in that relationship, and that was a huge reason I kept smoking. So, with all that built up, I was smoking a lot. And it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And even when I was high, there was that voice in my head that was like, you need to stop. Why are you doing this? This is bad. And I'd just be like, shut up. Let me have fun. I'm high. Let me have fun. And that's so much easier to do when you're high, but that voice was still there when I was sober. That voice was stronger when I was sober. And I think that voice was like my will. I'm not sure what it was, but I lost my train of thought. Weed. Yeah. Wow, it's just gone. Sorry. Yeah. I actually cannot. I've lost what I was thinking about. So we're just gonna find something else to go off of here. And, yeah, so really be easier on yourself. I'm just gonna start re-saying some stuff. Be easier on yourself, please. For me, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for me. Please. I'm some random dude. You're just watching me on YouTube, but like, please, if yourself is not reason enough, then please let me be the reason. Please let me try and be some motivation for you, because I don't give a shit who you are. Genuinely, I don't give a shit who you are. I don't want to see any human being in a position near where I was. I don't even know if I was at that low of a point compared to some people, but I don't want to see anyone that low. It's not cool. It's not a good place to be. And it's fucking terrible. It was a shit existence at that point in my life. And if I'm saying those words and that's like clicking in your head, like you are feeling those ways right now, please listen to me. Please take in my words. Please, because I want to see you improve and I want to see you help yourself. Like, I think a big reason people stop their addictions is once they've really, truly, internally fixed these problems that they've dealt with or that they're dealing with. So yeah, if you have all these traumas and stuff, like, if you have anything that you can think of where you're like, yeah, that's probably something that's affecting me, then take some more time to think about that. It might make you feel worse, but you're never gonna process things if you can't grieve, if you can't live in that negativity for a little bit. Like, I had to cry about my father a lot before I really started to get over it. And I didn't like crying. I would just shove it away. I'd just be like, I didn't like being that emotional guy. I hated it. And once I really started to accept that, it got a lot better. Yeah, I think that's a good place to end this. I don't want to make these videos too long, but if this is something that is helpful and this is something that you'd like to hear me talk more about, I certainly will, and I honestly probably will anyways, because I'm quite passionate about this. This is something I really want to help people with, because this is a big issue I've had. But yeah, I really hope you have heard these words and you'll take it in, and you'll, maybe later today you'll do that thing where you get really mad at yourself in your head. If that happens, recognize it. You fucking retell yourself what you just said. You be nice. Be nice to yourself. Please, be nice. Anyways, I love you guys lots. I appreciate anyone who's watching these videos, anyone just sending their positivity my way, because it actually makes me really happy. So thank you so much for watching these. Yeah, love you. Let me give you a hug right up to my heart, because my mom would always say heart to heart when you're hugging someone. This part, going like that. Oh. Yeah. Anyways, peace out. Much love. Adios.